Hi guys, it's been a little while since I did a video, so I thought I'd just do a fairly simplistic one, hopefully, replacing the rear tail light, and I may or may not replace these. Here is my replacement tail light. I like the size of it. It's LED. Looks pretty good quality, and I've also got these are bar end indicators. I'm going to try those in place of the indicators, or may try them in place of them. That's to be decided once I've got everything in bits. I've also got these Renthal trials bars. I've removed that because I won't be fitting that. It's not really appropriate, I don't think. Probably give that to my nephew for his little bike. So yeah, these are Renthal trial bars. They're a little over 800 wide, 800 millimeters. About, I'm not quite sure how much. I'll measure those when I put them on. I'm not actually going to fit those today. I've not got my grips yet, so I won't mess about with those. The reason I wanted to do a video on fitting this, although it'll be hopefully be quite simple, some people won't necessarily know how to do the wiring, and I'm also going to be replacing these hopefully with some clips to fit the standard wiring harness. So I'm not actually going to clip the standard harness. Same with these. Hopefully I think I've got some connectors which will be correct, and I'll show you how that all goes together. The first thing we need to do to remove the tailpiece is to take these two bolts out, and they've got an 8mm head. Once you've done that, you've got some flexibility in your rear mud flap then, and you can pull that away. That's still solidly in place, and that's held in place by these two bolts which come through from the number plate holder. So you need to put a spanner on that and extract those bolts, and then this will all lift away. So when you've undone those bolts, this lifts away. Those are the bolts holding that. They're the ones that go underneath the mud guard. Don't know what I've done with my other one. Put it somewhere. No, there we go. That lifts away, and this all comes off. To unclip these, you just need to push. It's handy having one of these. I'll show you up here. Those are your clips. Handy just to push this under this bit and then just release it. Pull it this way. And this one you can just do with your finger. All it is a tab that goes through there, so you can do that just by hand. And that's what they look like in there. So I've still not decided whether I am actually swapping the indicators or not. We'll see how I go, but I'm definitely replacing the light. Now I've just had to nip out and drill 2 extra holes in here, because unfortunately they are a different spacing compared to the ones that are on. I'll show you inside this light. It's a plastic light that's then in a metal sleeve. It's got that metal sleeve there, this bit here, and that which sits inside there. There's no waterproofing anywhere. They look like hopefully will be quite bright LEDs. It's not amazing quality, to be honest. It's all sort of, the board's held in place with glue gun glue by the looks of it, melted glue, hot gun glue. So I'll do some weather sealing with it. I'm going to fit it all first to make sure everything's right, but I will seal the joints and try and keep any water out of it. What I also do sometimes is spray some ACF 50 or WD-40 inside, just to drive out any moisture that might get in there at any point. So using this tester, I'll just check which one of the wires is the running light. Turn the bike on, put that to an earth, just put it onto the chain adjuster. So that's the one, the light grey wire. The green one doesn't do anything. That'll be your brake, and then your black one will be the earth, and so yeah, grey one is your running light. The light that I'm fitting from the instruction, well not instructions but photo from where I bought it. Blue is the tail light, red is the brake light, and black is the earth. So I'm going to replace these bullet connectors with the crimp fittings I showed you there. So with these, just cut them off, they're no longer needed. There's quite a long wire there, so I'll trim it down a little bit. It doesn't need to be that long for our purposes. Off they go. I'll just show you doing one with the knife. It's quite easy, just go like that, roll it with your thumb gently, not too much pressure, you don't want to cut the wire, and then just pull the shield off. So there you go, and then we'll just twist those up, ready to put the crimps on. Now with these crimps, I prefer just to get them started, just to make these into a hole. So I'll show you what I mean. So using one of these basic connectors, if you just basic crimping tools, you can do this. And get them all over the place. If you haven't got one, they're only cheap. So they've got the various different sizes. So just start them off like that, and then tuck in the wire, and then finish the crimp. When you crimp these, you want to get this bit on the insulation, and then this one onto the wire itself. This is a bit too long, so it's going to interfere with this here, but yeah, I've just folded it back on itself. So I'd stripped perhaps a little bit more off than I needed to do. So I've just got that prepared, and then you just use these just to fold that back out of the way, just to finish them off. And you push them down onto insulation, and then just neaten them up, because they've got to fit into these plastic connectors. They're easy to do and easy to get neat, almost look professional. Like I say, that's that just wants to come out of the way, so it'll interfere with these pushing into the plastic, and that's what holds it into the plastic connecting block. And I'll do this. So that's all the terminals crimped on. If it's a little blurred, we then need to put these into one of these, not one of those, one of these, to match this in the same way. So we established that this colour was the running light, tail light, and on this one, that is the tail light. Blue is the tail light, red's the brake light, as I said, and black is the earth. So they want to be in that order, and these are orientated with these little spikes this way, as per inside of there. So we'll feed those in now. These little connectors are great. All the various types I've used, they sort of look complicated when you've not played with them before, but they work nice and easy. You can see that slips in there, clicks in nice and definitely. So there you are, and then they're protected in there. They're not waterproof, but neither are the factory ones. So that should now plug onto there and work. Before I actually put everything back together, I will just plug that in and see that it does work. So moment of truth, I've just fed it through here just to hold it in position. Turn the bike on, we should get that to come on. There we go, nice and bright. Looks brighter on the camera than it is in the flesh, but it's a nice display. you should see that's the brake light. Now with the indicators, they've got 3 wires, as you'll see. They actually do light up clear and flash amber. The red is for lighting up clear. I presume that for when they are properly fitted on a bar ends, it would be useful perhaps to have them lit up clear as a further running light, which would be quite nifty. But obviously on the back end that's no good. So I've cut the red wire, put some heat shrink over it and just folded it over, and that will be hidden inside here, which fits inside this rubber bushing. So just to isolate that, and I'll put some further heat shrink over all 3 just to protect them inside here. So that's how I've left that, and I'll put the sleeve over now. So I've not been videoing all this just because it's a bit long-winded, but again, that's the one that I've done so far. This is the second one. The light itself is threaded, so this hollow threaded bar feeds over the wire and threads into there nicely. Could put some thread lock on there really, just to make sure that they don't come undone, but if they ever do, it's no major problem. I'll deal with it. And then just when that's in there, I'm just going to grip that. I'm not worried about damaging that bit of the thread, and just make sure that that's tight in there. Obviously don't go too hard because it's only going into alloy. And then these slip over there, and by sheer chance these are a tight fit in here, so I've just rounded the end off on the grinder, on the bench grinder. I'll force that in here. Once it's on here, put a bit of silicone on it just to help slip it in, and then I'll put this washer over and it'll just help expand that and make sure it stays in position. Now just a little tip for you before I continue. Here's one of the indicators is removed with this plug. You don't actually need to source these plugs. All you need to source are some of the female terminals, and then you just pop them out of the plug. To pop them out of the plug, again use your pick. You will see that's the socket that your terminal sits into, and you can simply release them. There are little plastic connectors inside which just slot into these grooves here just to hold them in. So all you've got to do, you can do this with a needle or this pick, push those out gently. You'll just lift up the little tabs inside. You can just feel them going, and then just push them and pull while see, that's one gone there. So just pick that off and pull the connector out. Simple as that. And then obviously when you rewire your new indicators, you can just slot the terminals into these. They can stay on there. You're not cutting any of your original harness. Everything can go back together, no problem at all. So that's one of those fitted in there. So slipped it in with some silicone, washer nut back on the back side of it. Just carefully tighten that up again because it's exerting pressure on that. You don't want to strip this, but it just helps swell that ever so slightly, and that isn't coming out of there easy at all. I think you would struggle to get that back out, to be quite honest. So that's those fitted. I think they're quite a tidy little result. So I've wired these up, just gently put the connectors together just to check the flash rate, and they were flashing too fast because I've not put any resistors in line. I don't like doing that, I prefer to use relays. So the relay, the flash relay is under here. This one, let's put the light on, is located here. And I've replaced that. Well, I will remove it. I was just test fitting. Just replaced it with an LED relay. Had one spare from another bike. So as you can see, flash rate is now fine. It's actually adjustable, that relay, so you can wind it up and down. As you can see, working both ways. Obviously I've got to put everything back together, but yeah, all good. So there you are, all fitted. I'll just show you once again with it all lighting up. So that's the tail light, brake light and indicators. Hopefully they're clear from there, they're clear from the sides and the rear, nice and bright, surprisingly bright actually. I thought they might be, didn't think they'd be quite as good as that. Just got these off eBay, they're widely available. Got the tail light from Alchemy Parts in the UK. Pretty happy with that, other than lack of weatherproofing, but I'll address that myself. Fitted this back, the original one, and I've got a smaller number plate to go on there. The other one was way too big, so I'll put the small one on, and that will completely tidy up the back end. These won't be to everybody's taste, but I do quite like them. I'll see how I feel when I'm outside. Tend to get a better view of it when it's rolling around outside, and then get a better feel for how things look on the bike. So hopefully that's been of use. Any queries on any part, then do please let me know. And check out my previous videos, subscribe for future videos, and thumbs up if you like this and found it useful. Thanks again for watching.